Yeah, the indigenous farmers we're working with mostly are in remote areas with few access to production assets. The majority experience high level of poverty and food insecurity and malnutrition related to the fact that the raining pattern are changing mostly every year, and the production, agricultural production is decreasing because less and less rain, and because the farming practices are not very adapted. And the level of literacy and general knowledge about smart agriculture is not very high. And it's in that area we are working to try to strengthen their capacity in regard to effective agroecological innovation, but also in regard to the organizational capacity, so that in addition to having technical skills, they also improve the way they are organized, the way they can interact with different stakeholders, so to meet their needs and have all the program results become sustainable. Yes, they need help. Indigenous communities need help, but it doesn't mean they don't know anything. They have their own knowledge, they have their own way to organize, but they can move forward faster if they have external input in terms of training, in terms of awareness raising, in terms of material support. But we may be cautious so that the way we intervene do not kill their own initiatives. Our work should be strengthening their initiative, not replacing their initiative by our own way of thinking and doing things. It's a matter of creating more knowledge, improving, learning from each other, so that they can move forward faster, and we also gain in terms of understanding people ways of living, their thinking. That's what I think should help them move forward. On the policy wing, it's necessary that people, let's say government, decision makers in general, they can support indigenous people in designing policies that are relevant, that is coherent, so that they can improve the way they are doing things, and they can move forward, let's say. Usually, what people say to us is that the way we intervene is very effective. Why? Many villages experienced in the past different kind of strategy of external support. But when you go in some of those villages, you may not see the track of past support. And the way we do things is improving situations based on the local knowledge. And we do not do things for people. We analyze the situation together. We define action, and we share responsibilities, and we put together energies and resources, building their capacity so that when we are no more there, people are able to continue and they can understand why and how we do what we do and be motivated for the long time. And because of that, many of them have improved their skill, but now they know they have better knowledge in terms of organizational capacity that they implement in our joint project, but that they also use in other area of activity. So people say, okay, maybe it's difficult, but this is the way. In terms of improving lives, we can have many success stories. For instance, one woman in our area of intervention was involved in saving and credit activities and also in market gardening. He was able to raise a lot of money that helped her improve the way she takes care of her health, clothes, invest in her children scholarship, and she also was able to build a new house with modern style, meaning cement, iron, and those kind of things that was normal woman in our area couldn't dream to have by herself. But she was able to achieve this. And because of the results she gets, she is now one of the leaders of our supported program among her peers. She's consulted for different decision making, and she leads a very important group in her area. So it raised her capacity, and she's a respected leader in her area. Yeah, for this year, after implementing, focusing our intervention in technical skill building, we are now trying to give more attention, more investment in farmer organization networking, so that they can be able to manage the program even if we phase out, and so that they can achieve goals that go beyond a single family. For instance, to advocate for government subsidy, to advocate for water, to advocate for education, advocate for any kind of thing they could get from government or other stakeholders. They need to be linked together. They need to be aware of different kinds of things. So if you go in group, you have more chance to achieve your goals than going in a single as one basis. And we see this as a way to improve people capacity in organizing, in interacting with external stakeholders that may help them achieve common goals, going beyond their household. Because for you may be able to achieve some goals working alone, but if the environment is not favorable, what you achieve may not last, and what you achieve is very little. But if you are able, by advocating, to create favorable environment, if you are able to be in connection with different organizations, then it opens new opportunities for you. You can scale out and you can scale up. This is very important for program sustainability. Yeah, there is another woman named Kande Mariam, a Fulani people who usually do not involve as much as the other ethnic group in agriculture. The traditional way of living is based on rearing animals. But that lady invests in agriculture, especially in what we call half moon. It's an agricultural agroecological innovation. She implements many of them and was able to increase her production by at least 4, even 5 in some area. She was able to recover barren lands because that technology helps recover areas where nothing can be done in terms of cultivating if you don't implement innovation, agricultural innovation. And because she was able to earn money from the increase of her production, she also was able to take care of her nephews, her uncle, and they achieve food security and even were able to support, to give food, for instance cereal, to other families. And that woman was also able to train other women and on the way she did. And now she also is doing well in her village and is respected. And she were able to attend several exchange visits. And when she came, she tried to mobilize the others so that they can also try to implement what relevant thing they have seen elsewhere that can help their community. She is nowadays very proud of her achievement. Yeah. Yeah, indigenous knowledge is the basis of our rural area belief and the basis of their life. And what ANSD does as a member of Groundswell West Africa Network member is to interact with the communities to improve their knowledge based on what they already know. We have external input and we create together a joint knowledge. It's no more fully traditional, it's not fully external. It's a way of creating new things pertaining to both actors. And because of that, people use to get information on different area of activity, and sometimes you go for monitoring and evaluation, and you see people doing things you didn't think of. For instance, we used to train people on how to manage improved seed, not genetically modified, no, improved, but in the good manner according to us. And to do this, there's a certain norm you should respect. But when you go to the field, you will see different ways people are implementing them related to what they already know, and sometimes you are surprised that they have more benefits than what you thought would be possible. And in some area, for instance, there is an area where people are not used to cultivate corn or maize, because the area is, the ground is barren and there's not a lot of rain. But we train them how to capture the minimum rain that fall in that area with agroecological innovation called Zai or half moon. And usually people grow cereal, let's say sorghum, millet, but some farmers decided without consulting us to grow maize. If they had consulted us, we should say we should discourage them because we know that the rain pattern is not favorable. But doing this, they have shown us that this is possible to grow corn with the agroecological innovation we brought, and that we didn't think could be suitable for maize in that area. So it's innovative. Some other people in another district, when generally in Burkina Faso, when you say, okay, agroecological innovation implementation, it goes with improved seed supported by government or other technical services. But in that area, some people choose to grow their own seeds and see how it will work. And it worked very well. And to some extent, more than the so-called improved seed. And this led us to change our mind a bit. Now we are promoting local seeds, trying to make an inventory of different seeds inherited from our grandparents, and trying to classify them according to the length of their seed, their cycle, according to the yield, according to different factors. And then usually it is done in big meetings, everyone coming with his own crops, explaining the cycle, what it is used for traditionally, what they are using it to now, and the different characteristics, what makes them like this seeds, etc. and etc. And during the same meeting, another person can identify different seeds that she didn't know about, or that they used to know but that has disappeared in their area. And discovering it again, people are happy, and people used to exchange seeds in the same meeting. And after those meetings, some people called us. I've been told that there is a seed of sorghum or maize or beans that is such and such type. Do you have it for us? And we link them to the owner of the seed. And now we are comparing seeds from different area and seeds from the researcher and from the communities, and many people are engaged in this, and they started ordering for a different kind of seeds. And one farmer, after one such meeting, said, now you are no, I see now that you are for us. This is the right way I want things to be. And many were proud, and I should say, or proud of their achievement. If you ask somebody about his own seeds, you can see his face, how proud he is in explaining, being the object of attention of the others. It's something inspiring. So our task, according to me, is to listen to people first, to look at people and try to understand why they do what they do, how they do what they do, before injecting our own insight and our own input. Because sometimes you may think you know more than them, and because they are polite, they didn't say anything, they accept what you do, but sometimes you are leading them far from the right way. And it's usually end up with people abandoning things as soon as the external support ends up. But if you listen to people, if you try to help them improve what they are used to, what they like, even if the project depart, they continue to improve while waiting for another possible support. They never abandon. People can do a lot to help us help others. For instance, they can get in touch with us to get more information about what we do, how we do, and where we work. They can also get information on Groundswell site-wide, and also contacting directly Groundswell staff at regional level, but also in the US. Another area of support they can make is to let our voice and our partner voice be heard abroad, meaning sharing information that they can get with us or get with Groundswell. That is our main support in West Africa. Obviously, we need financial resources that can also help, but not only that. Even if having different people from different countries hear our voice is a very great support. That's what I can say. Yeah, in our strategy of intervention, we pay attention to equity. Equity means we will not leave anybody aside. We try to integrate everybody at different level. So the better off, the poor families or individuals, but also we try to have a gender balance in our activities, meaning we do have women, we have men, we have young people, we have adults. And much of the work we are doing is led by women and young people. Because even statistically, in Burkina Faso, we have 52% women. And in the farming area, women are the more numerous, and women are the one who stay longer in the farm. So that's why Groundswell decided to give more attention to the involvement of women in our action, so that we can empower them in terms of production asset, meaning land, meaning water, meaning knowledge, meaning input, so that they can improve their own production, their own life, and improve their status as a whole. And we also give attention to young people, because the future of the country depends on the young people. And as our main strategy is to train a first set of persons that train their peer, obviously young people are the more numerous. They have strength, they have engagement, and they have commitment. So many of the farmer trainers we are engaged with are young people. And besides this, we also try to go to school, meaning we try to educate or to provide information related to agroecology to very young people, meaning primary school boys and girls, high school and college meaning pupils. And we have experienced that, and it was very exciting. Many young, I remember the pupils from one college asked the director to come and say thank you to ANSD and Groundswell because they have interacted with us. They understood what they should do to take care of their environment, and they now can help their parents in the villages. And they ask us to continue supporting them with knowledge, not money, but knowledge sharing. Yeah, so our ambition is to enlarge the number of young people that we can engage with, to increase their awareness and their skills in how to smartly manage their natural resources, starting by land, soil fertility, water, environment in general, so that they can there's no need to train them in the future to cut the problem at its root. It's not smart to wait people to grow up, teach them, and wait for the children to grow up, and this is endless starting. So we think if we were able to educate small boys, small girls at primary school, this is something gain definitely forever, and it's one way of cutting the problem at its roots. Yeah. Yeah, in the area we are working in, people grow mainly sorghum, then millet, then maize. There are the three main crops. In areas where there's lowland, people cultivate also rice and groundnuts. So the main staple food is sorghum and maize. Yeah, and my favorite food is made out of flour of millet and okra sauce with fish, preferably. Yeah, that's what I love. Yeah. The system of Groundswell is working very well. Why? Because we start trying something at a small scale, and when it's proven to be effective, we try to enlarge it, to scale it out, and to scale it up. And people, the indicators that it works well is that people in our area or in neighboring area, they usually come to ask, some are phoning us to say, okay, we have seen your job, we have heard about what you do on the radio, and we are also want to be involved in your program. So when will you come to our area? And usually it's a pleasure to hear that what you do is effective and different people want to join you. If it was not effective, people won't ask for joining. But usually we say, okay, thank you very much, but a matter of financial resources, because we do not want to disperse our energy in very large scale as direct intervener. We try to reinforce the capacity of local people to extend the experience, to extend the achievement. That's why when it's possible, we intervene. In other ways, we ask people to bring volunteers to learn directly from us or to learn from the neighboring villages so that they share knowledge and experience. So I think it's a solid indicator that things work. The second thing that shows that it works is when we work together with a community for 1 or 2 years. When you come to supervise, you see people implementing what you have done together, but you see people also trying to adapt and enrich what you have done together. People do not just sit and wait for us to come to move them forward. And that is something that encourages us. And usually when people get information, they are eager to share with their neighbors or even neighboring villages. And we have met people that we didn't know, but who get the techniques we are promoting just by learning from people we have trained in the past. So when something is evolving, enlarging without your own let's say, we don't have to push directly so that it works. When we put the fuel, it goes by itself. That is something that is that prove that what we do works. And the last thing about that is, for instance, saving and credit with women. After implementing it for 1 year, the strategy met women expectation in the way that they couldn't, those who are not involved directly couldn't wait for our staff to come and train them. They just start and come and tell us, you are too slow, we cannot wait because we may wait for long. We created based on what we saw from the area we are supporting, and we ask you now to come and correct and to tell us how to do it better. And the number of groups that are involving in this way is very multiplying rapidly. So these are 3 reasons why I think that what we do is important and effective.